Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of July 2nd and for the entire month of July. I have been away for a week or so from the radio. Thank you so much for making space for me to do that. And I feel good to be back. I have a whole month of astrology to give you today. The month of July contains within it an immense amount of energy, an immense amount of this is going to be focused energy. This is asking us to focus our energies. There has been a respite time with the summer solstice and the sun moving into Cancer. We get an opportunity to slow things down, to nurture ourselves, to be our own mothers, and to bring more mothering into our lives, more watery, emotional, supportive, caring, secure, safe energy. Over the last week that I was away, we also had the planet of Saturn turn retrograde. This is when the planet, according to our positioning here on planet Earth, appears to stop and move backwards in the night sky. This is a time when the energies of a planet are felt the very most. You can definitely feel a planet's energy as it comes into play with other aspects, making aspects to other planets or making aspects to certain points on your astrological birth chart. And then the other times that we feel planets so intensely is when they are stationing retrograde or stationing direct. So Saturn went stationed retrograde on June 29th in the sign of Pisces, just around noontime in the afternoon here on the Pacific West Coast. I use all Pacific West Coast times, by the way. So you will have to do some math and figure out what time these exact things are happening in your area if that interests you, if you're listening from another time zone. Pisces is all about, again, it's this watery energy that Cancer offers, this emotional, sort of feminine, internal energy. It's a more, dare I say, passive energy. There is a surrender to water signs that make them a respite. They make them an opportunity to slow down. So with Saturn stationing retrograde in Pisces, this is at 19 degrees. So if you have any planets or points at 19 degrees of Pisces or making a square or a trine or an opposition to this point, then this is going to be affecting you even more. Saturn is the planet of responsibility. Saturn's the slow planet, and a big thing that Saturn also represents is the past. When Saturn themes come into play, we can tend to look to the past for guidance, for answers. We turn to memories. We turn to places that we've been in the past, maybe even going over some things in the past out of a compulsive way, because there is an addictive energy to Pisces. This is where addictions lie. This is where indulgence in drugs and alcohol lie, and just addictive patterns. Pisces. This is also the 12th sign of the zodiac. So we are looking to move forward from Pisces energy. We're looking to make closure and then to move forward. And because we've just started this Saturn retrograde, we are going to be feeling this for many, many months. We're going to be turning around and looking again. Where am I where am I screwing up my responsibility, right? What do I need to go back and do again to set it straight? Something's not right. I have some things in my past that I need to go back and make amends with, have some turnaround as far as the emotional energy around the past, around memories, around past events. And this is going to be taking place between 19 and then going all the way back to 13 degrees of Pisces. So that is over the next many, many months with Saturn retrograde, the realm that we're going to be working within here. So check out your astrological birth chart. Your birth chart is your guide to how the energies are going to be affecting you on a personal level. As with any astrological chart, your birth chart is broken into the 12 signs of the zodiac. It shows you where all the planets and the points were at the time of your birth. And this is a guidebook for us to follow as we study the astrology. As we move through our lives, we can know a lot about ourselves and about the direction, about what we were born into in this life, and how we may be able and where we are supposed to work with this and when, because then the energies come in, they're hot right now. We got this Pisces, Saturn retrograde, 19 to 13 degrees of Pisces. That's going to be lighting up that part of your astrological birth chart. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, every person, every event, every product, every idea has an astrological birth chart. Every moment is birthing something, isn't it? And so every moment we are having new opportunities and we are having new interplay into our birth chart and different interplays between the planets just in the world chart. So get your astrological birth chart. If you haven't already, you can go to astro-seek.com. That's the website that I use for all of the free things that I need. And also when I do these reports, I'm sitting here live in the studio in downtown Bend right now, and I've got my eyes on the chart there at astro-seek.com. So that was last week. Now I've got much, much more to talk about, but this retrograde pattern is one of the things that is coming in pretty strong in the month of July. And that is because we have all of the outer planets. Those are all of the planets that are way, way out there in our solar system. Pluto, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and somewhat Jupiter. Saturn, Jupiter are kind of in the middle. They're not outer planets. They're not personal planets close into the Earth. And so they're kind of that in-between phase. But the outer planets, they are all stationing or have stationed to turn retrograde. This is being felt very strongly because we have just had these outer planets tease us in new territory. We have Pluto having just left the sign of Capricorn, entered Aquarius. This is a big time shift. Pluto shows us sort of what the next 20 years is going to look like for us, what the next focus is going to be on for that length of time. The last 20 years has been about Capricorn, okay? Earth, building things, structure, bony, skeletal systems. This is also where we build our careers and we build our legacy that we're going to leave in this world also. And Capricorn is represented by a certain house in your astrological birth chart, 1 through 12. Every house represents a different area of life. And so Pluto has just left one area of your life and is moving into another area. And so making that shift. Neptune is right on the edge of doing that exact same thing, stationing retrograde and teasing us at 29 degrees, 55 minutes of Pisces. Whoa. I mean, you couldn't even get any closer to the edge and then pull back away. All that adrenaline that comes surging through your body when you step up to the ledge, when you step up to the edge. It's like, whoa, there's that, and there's this behind me, there's this behind me, and there's this in front of me. And it's a really powerful point. You can see everything standing at the ledge, standing at the edge. Neptune is going to be then stationing retrograde and moving away and further away and further away from the ingress into the next sign of Aries. And we're feeling this. This is like ultimate closure in the sign of Pisces in the realms of Neptune. Neptune is a planet that shows us our hopes, our dreams, our desires. This is also a place where we're extremely spiritual. Neptune represents spirit and all the things that are ungraspable in a way, yet we can feel. You feel these things, but there's just no proof of them being there. It's the things that we have faith in. It is the wishes that we are continually trying to manifest. We also have a lot of creativity here, as the planet of Neptune represents the arts and pleasurable things within the arts and expression, in terms of our dreams and our desires and expressing those things and reaching for those desires. That takes a lot of creative inspiration. So we find a lot of creative inspiration in Neptune. And Neptune has been in the sign of Pisces since 2011. So if you can kind of feel back to 2011 up till now, you can see what Neptune in Pisces has been closing out for you. Some hope, some dream, some desire, some spiritual, creative inspiration has been bubbling up for the last 13 years. And we are now going to be putting that baby to bed and moving into the next sign of Aries, where we start new, fresh things. And again, you look at your birth chart, you see what the house was in Pisces. Neptune's been working there for 13 years and is about to move to the next house that Aries represents in your birth chart. And so your focus is going to change. Your dreams, your hopes, your desires, your creativity, all going to be moving into a new realm, into a new focus. And that's really exciting. Neptune's also going to be coming into a conjunction with the North Node of Destiny over the course of the next 6 months. I don't know the exact date, but it's going to be happening. And then it'll be wavering over that point also, because it's going to be retrograded and then moving forward again. So we're going to see some interplay here with the North Node. And the North Node of Destiny brings in all of the things that are destined for us. These are the places in our life that we are heading. These are the things that we are trying to bring in. These are creations. These are new directions. And the North Node in Aries is extremely powerful. Aries is the first cardinal sign and can basically materialize anything out of nothing. Everybody that I know who has strong Aries energy has a manifestation power to them that is beyond my Sagittarius stellium understanding. I, with my Sagittarius stellium, see those visions. I have big dreams, big visions. And then there is like this toughness sometimes with my personal birth chart where I lack some of that cardinal energy. And so I have these big dreams, but it's hard for me to take steps. And then you've got people who are sort of, let's just say the opposite. And they take really strong first steps and they're always, taking these new initiatives, but then it's really hard to see the vision. It's really hard to, come through with that grander vision and say, no, this is where this is actually headed. And so depending on your own energy there and what you're working with in your life, this could either be easier or more difficult for you to bring in at the moment. But this week, we also have our new moon in Cancer. The new moon in Cancer is on July 5th, and that is at 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon here, Pacific West Coast. And this is a beautiful point for us to slow down and to allow integration. There is a turnaround of energies right now, and it's been very active over the last 6 months, and very much being capped off by Gemini season, just being super active and pushing us in different ways that challenged us and that challenged our energies and that we even challenged what we wanted to be involved with, because there was just so much going on. And so now we have multiple other planets, Saturn, Neptune, stationing retrograde. We have the asteroid of Chiron at the end of the month of July, also going retrograde. So we have this major slowdown, and it could feel like we were gaining a lot of ground, and now we are going to need to be actually taking stock of the things that the changes that we've made, the things that we've said we were going to do, all these actions that we've taken. And it hasn't all gone totally according to plan. So there are some things that we're going to need to go back, review, edit, turn around, and move forward again. And this new moon is going to be a real quiet time for us to nurture that. We also have Venus really close in to this new moon. And so it's all surrounding the way that we care for ourselves and our self-mothering and our self-parenting and those soft places that we go to find security and safety. And this is going to be a really good point for us to continue moving forward with this slower energy. In 2 weeks, we have the second full moon in Capricorn coming in. So the month of July begins to really turn an interesting corner. We've got watery Cancer energy really all over the place right now. And as this week, we start to see that change. We have Mercury, the planet of our mind, moving into Leo, moving from the first water sign, Cancer, in the zodiac, to the second fire sign, Leo. And Leo is all about expression. Cancer is more about pulling in and doing that self-nurturing. And Leo is more about going out and expressing yourself and getting attention and being in front of crowds and having a lot of fun and being kind of childish and really playful, And so we move into a totally different energy this month. Mercury on the second moves, and Venus moves into Leo on July 11th. And as soon as planets move into the sign of Leo, they are moving through that opposition with the planet of Pluto at the 1st degrees of Aquarius. And so there is a transformation that takes place with each of these movements over the month of July. And as soon as we get to the 20th of July, Mars enters Gemini, moving out of Taurus, taking that energy that was a little more grounded in our physical body, Mars representing our physical body, our warrior spirit, the things that we go for in life. And Gemini becomes a little more curious and asks more questions and does a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Taurus is a little slower energy. Gemini starts to move a little quicker. So we actually get the physical body popping out of a slow sign into a faster moving sign. Could be a little bit of a back and forth energy with how much slow movement is going on with those outward planets, with the physical body just wanting to kind of like take steps forward and like get some things done. But what we can do is we can take steps forward with gathering that information. Gemini, gathering information. Our second full moon in Capricorn happens on July 21st. This is the second full moon in Capricorn. This year, every year, one sign gets 2 full moons. And the last one was on June 21st, the first full moon in Capricorn That one took place at, I'm looking for the degrees. I actually don't have that, but so the first 1 degree and then 29 degrees, because that's where it has to be in order for it to fit in that quickly within that month. So Capricorn, this is again building the structures, building the skeletal system, working on the framework and the things in our life that we would like to take responsibility for, because Capricorn is ruled by the planet of Saturn. So Saturn, big hot ticket this week, these Capricorn full moons coming into play right at the time of year when Saturn's energy is being felt the very most. This is hot. There is something going on within terms of what we're taking responsibility for, what we are not taking responsibility for, some type of expression around that, because the full moon is when we express things. That's the full culmination point. That's the top of the mountain that we've climbed all month. And usually we get to climb different mountains each month, but this one, we did it and now we're doing it again. And there's some type of lesson, there's some type of process, there's something that is left undone until this Capricorn full moon part 2 unfolds on July 21st. I will get more time to talk about that as the month moves along. But the sun moves into Leo on July 22nd and joins Mercury and Venus there in the realms of fiery, fun, expressiveness, getting attention, just really enjoying the things that we are passionate for. That's what Leo represents. It's the heart, those things in our heart that we have so much passion for. And then it really starts to fade even before the month of July is over, because Mercury then moves into Virgo on July 25th. And then we get to enjoy the sun in Leo with all of the other personal planets starting to move forward a little bit more and moving into Virgo energy. And we're just going to be kind of kicking back by the hearth fire, enjoying the things that make our heart light up, enjoying the things that bring us passion. That's what Leo's all about, is passion. So really moving from a quiet place in the beginning of July to a more louder place later in the month. We're right in the middle of these 2 Capricorn full moons. So there's some bigger process going on right now to keep track of, and also realizing that we're just going to need to slow down a little bit and be okay with going back and making sure that everything is in the place that we want it. So I hope this was helpful for you, and I will be back with you again soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.